rice casserole, which nobody seems to know what it is when I say that, but hopefully by the end of the video you'll remember what it is. We're going to start basically by making a spaghetti sauce, just like the spaghetti sauce that I think I showed you in a previous video. So we'll start with some cut up peppers. These are actually ones we froze in the freezer. Normally we use fresh. Onion and garlic, kind of a rough chop them all the way. Into a hot pan of olive oil. A couple tablespoons olive oil. And we'll let that cook for a little bit. Give it a good stir while it's cooking. And while that's cooking, so next, after that's cooked for a little bit, we've taken, I don't know, that's about 2 pounds, pound and a half, 2 pounds of venison, or you could use Hamburger if you like, and that will go in on top of that. And after we do that, we'll add the tomatoes, the spices, and the rice and liquid, which is over here. What is that? For 2 cups of rice, you'll need 4 cups of liquid. This liquid is whatever was left in our jar. I normally don't pour that into a container, but I needed you to see it. And the rest of it to fill up the space was V8 juice, regular V8 juice.
Vegetable V8 juice, not a good kind.
Not the fruit V8 juice, you're right. Okay, so like I said, basically we're making the spaghetti sauce that I showed you before, but we're kind of doing it a little bit differently. Normally in our spaghetti sauce we don't have meat, but so we started the vegetables. You don't have to cook them very long, maybe till they just soften a little bit, and then I threw the meat in on top of it. After that, we'll toss in the tomatoes so that they can kind of cook and break down. These are obviously home canned. Normally, if I get them from the store, I'll squish them between my hands so they'll break up even farther. So we'll add those. We'll go ahead and add the rice. 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of liquid. It's always like a 2-to-1 ratio with rice and liquid. And all that's really left to do is season it. Give that a good stir.
I thought this took an hour.
The whole process takes about an hour. I'm going to add some salt, a little bit of salt into that, maybe about that much. Just because rice needs salt. Well, maybe I'll add a little bit more, about that much more. And a little bit of ground pepper. To that I'll add chili powder. And again, we don't ever measure, we just sprinkle until it looks like a good coating of chili powder. And even though I added a bunch of garlic, I'll always add some granulated garlic. And again, we just sprinkle, we don't measure, just like a nice little dusting over the top. And to that we add some Lea & Perrins Worcestershire. Lea & Perrins is the best, don't buy any other kind. Unless it's a fancy one. That could be better. And so that's the basic recipe. But the secret ingredient to all of our sauces is ketchup. Shh, don't tell anybody. They won't believe you. So, oh yeah, Hunt's. Don't use Heinz. Yuck. Hunt's. Although Heinz is good on French fries. That's just a good, that thickens it and adds some, well, sugar and flavor. And all you do at this point is let it cook, bring it to a boil, kind Just stir regularly, bring it to a boil, and we'll take a look at it at the end. Alright, and we'll have hamburger rice casserole. Alright, so once you bring it to a boil like that, so cut it down low, simmer, and put a top on it, and it'll cook just like rice, and it'll be ready. So we'll see it then. Alright, so it's basically done. It's been about 30 minutes. One of the optional things you might choose to do, if you have it, grate up about half a pound of cheese for this much. Sprinkle it over the top in the last couple of minutes, just so it has time to melt and kind of form a layer over the top. But basically all the cooking of the rice has already been done.
Which you still haven't shown us how to do.
Well, the rice in this dish. We can do cooked rice later. Anyway, there you go. It'll be done in just a moment.
Hallelujah.
So, well, that's all that's left. I would like to say that we added 2 bay leaves that you didn't see that really were pretty tasty. They were huge, giant bay leaves. So, 2 giant ones, 3 or 4 maybe little ones like you typically get in a jar. Added a nice flavor to it as well. But anyway, 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of fluid, which is the leftover tomato juice from the jar, and the rest was V8 juice, tomato V8 juice. Season it, cook it for about 30 minutes is all it takes for the rice to absorb the water. Throw a little cheese on at the end, let it melt, uncover it, and enjoy. Love y'all.